All right, welcome people to our monthly stage that most of you already know we do monthly. We are gonna try to keep it pretty short today, but we're gonna follow our general theme we've been doing here. So we're gonna have topics where we talk about the changes we've made. We're gonna have general questions where people can ask questions in chat after that. And after that, some verbal questions where we let people up on stage to ask what they want. Um, I'm not gonna run through all of the topics because we're just about to do that, so I'm not gonna even run through them abstractly because that's what we'll be doing anyways. But I will be giving a shout out to the entire staff team for all their work on the changes. So that includes both the development team, the content team, and the moderation team. And I am also to mention that if anyone's interested in contributing to the Alathra project, then shoot us a messages or no, actually make tickets
Make tickets.
because we always need
Don't DM us.
developers, we need texture artists, we need model makers, and moderators. So if you're interested in anything like that or helping with the wiki and stuff like that, make sure to create a ticket and let us know.
Little note on that: you must be 18 plus to join staff.
Yes, you need to be an adult. Um, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So if you wanna
You
start
want me
running
to
through the topics, Jeff?
run through topics? All right, yeah. So I'm basically just going to give a quick recap here of all of the things we've done over the last, what has it been, like a month? A little over a month, I
In
think.
a month and a
Yeah,
week or
okay.
something.
So I'm going to run through this pretty quick and then we can get into the part most people normally like, the questions. So we've added a bunch of new magical items like Lightning Wand and Volley Scroll. We've decreased a lot of the Emerald Shop prices. We added the Breach of Contract Casus Belli. We added the enchantment crave buffs and changes. I mean, you guys can go look at that as spawn now if you have the time. We retired the cruiser, made some movecraft changes. We added the nether giant. There were boss health indicators that I added. We added some rules clarifications to the war info page. Added the throwing stone. Rose thankfully fixed the apple dropping skill. Um, there was the Discord refactor. That took a while, but I think we're close to wrapping it up. We did the doppelganger buff, so it actually works. Added custom death messages, made tons of war rule changes like the pricing and embassy requirement going away, that kind of stuff, restricting mercs and allies to 2. Sky splitter nerf, explosive sickness nerf. Wolfie fixed the wiki guide. There were some more nether boss fixes. Sherm released Alathra reports 2. There was the giant changes from Kev, and then Kev finished up the carriage station stuff as well. So that was all the stuff we did.
Yeah, that's the brief overview.
Very,
do we
very,
wanna?
very brief, generic.
Is there anything you guys want to
We
talk a little bit in detail about?
Yeah, we can pull a few of those bits apart.
Yeah.
I don't know, Dark, if you want to talk about what Discord refactor
Yeah,
means.
so as some people very clearly noticed, we started what I call the great Discord cleanup of 2025. It's been a process for over a few weeks now, where it's not been actively worked on, but we've been changing it and trying to clean up, remove some old, very, 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 very unused channels, and just consolidate the channels we do have. We've also been redoing all of the permissions and stuff, and this is because we want to, well, first of all, we wanted to clean it up because it was incredibly messy. Perhaps not to the users, but definitely on the backend side of things when it came to permissions and stuff. So we've been cleaning that up a lot, and hopefully soon we will be implementing some much needed automation when it comes to, for example, Patreon donors, so that you won't need to make a ticket to, get your rank for Discord and Minecraft, etc. So yeah, that's pretty much the Discord stuff.
Nice. I'm gonna pull a few other things apart a little bit. The Movecraft change, Jeff just mentioned it. We got rid of the cruiser class. What that basically means is it's just a reduction in how big your ship can be. I think we reduced it from 20K to 12.5K. And
Yeah.
that was just done because it was just far too laggy. Anytime anyone moved a ship of that size, the whole server lagged quite badly. It's just not feasible to have ships of that size. It just doesn't work. So that's why that was reduced. Don't expect that to ever go back to that size. Movecraft will probably never be stable enough on our server to run at that size of a ship. But 12.5K is still quite large for a ship. The giants, we did a lot with giants this month. Jeff added the new nether giant, much harder than
Yeah.
the overworld
Supposedly
giants.
it's hard.
We also reworked the drops of giants, removing the giant flesh, bones, and eyes, and replacing them with Alathra metals, as the Alathra metals are just more useful, have more versatility, and also just buffing how many drops the giants actually drop, increasing the value of fighting a giant. We definitely want to continue to add more bosses and mini bosses and hard mobs for you guys to fight on a server. This is just another step in that direction with the Nether Giant. We have plans for more mobs of harder difficulty in the future, but yeah, there's that. We added the Throwing Stone, unbelievably amazing addition to the server. If you haven't tried it, go get a stone and throw it at someone. Very great. Uh, we changed a lot about war. Jeff touched on it briefly. We increased the cost of mercs. Where we are in the server's lifespan at this point, 10K was just too little of a price for really get a merc. It was too easy, really, to get that much money. So we've increased that. We've also put restrictions on how many mercenaries and allies can join on either side of a war. As we found it to be kind of a pattern that many wars kind of devolve into giant world wars when they don't need to, or the same groups kind of just keep dominating more. This was kind of a way to limit it and make it so people couldn't just mass spend their way out of a war with hundreds of thousands of dollars. Uh, some other tweaks to war, we got rid of some of the requirements. The embassy wasn't really feasible.
It
Was
was kind of stupid after a
was
while.
something we wanted to try. Didn't work out, so we got rid of that. So it's a bit easier to get your allies into the war, but you just have to be selective on which allies you
Yeah.
bring in. And also, this helps give a little bit more bonus to a nation, since the nations can join in as one group. So might be better to ally yourself with a nation so you could bring in multiple towns versus just a town to bring in that one town. Couple other changes for war, but that was the main stuff. And yeah, I think I mean, Sherman did some reworks to ports. Stuff you guys probably won't notice. It's all very back end for actual ports itself.
Except for
But
taxes.
except for the
Some quality
taxes.
of life
You
changes.
can now set taxes on your ports as you've all asked for so long. So now you can make money from your ports. And carriages are now here, which is just overland ports. Made an announcement about that. Works for getting a carriage very similar to ports. Just make a ticket. There's a guide at spawn down near the docks telling you what you need to do to make a carriage station. Similar to ports, has a build requirement and some animal requirements. So you can check that out. Either it's in updates and changes telling you what you need recently, or down at the docks there's a carriage station set up as an example for you guys to go off. But yeah, that's basically the stuff we've added this last month. And unless either of you have anything you want to talk about, I think we can go to questions.
No, let's proceed to questions.
So how questions are going to work here, we're going to first answer questions that are written out. If you have a question, write it out in the side chat here. Put a question mark at the end of your question. If it doesn't have a question mark, I'm going to skip over it. And then if we have time, we'll do a couple verbal questions. But that's how we're going to go. So we're going to start with written down questions. If anyone has them, write them out now. And it doesn't just have to be about the stage and what we talked about. It could be anything to do with the server. Any questions you have about anything, um, you can ask those now. We're here to answer any questions you have about the server. Fucking dual citizenship when? Probably
Uh,
never.
That's not gonna
Never?
happen. That's never gonna
What's
happen.
that
That's a Tony thing.
possible? Yeah, I don't think that's possible, Tony.
Is there gonna be any outpost unclaiming thing where we can unclaim outposts easier? Are you talking about how? I assume that's referring to how it can be kind of hard right now because of um the requirements of claims. Um, yeah, in the future there probably won't be super hard. It's not like a top priority thing. Um, it will probably remain about as hard, but we might make some changes to just how you create outposts in the first place that will make it a little bit easier.
So to answer Kev, probably not.
No,
No.
I mean, this is
it's
a
no.
pretty rare issue, to be fair.
Um,
Any more questions?
Steph,
Who wants to
Siege
pull
anyone
one?
else?
events.
Siege event.
Will we have another one in the near future?
Near future, hard to say. Definitely.
Possibly. It's sort of a demand thing. If people ask for it, we'll probably do one. Having said that, as probably people have seen on the public roadmap we have, that there are a lot of changes pending, which are still, and none of which are on the server. We're talking months of updates and tweaks to the actual plugin that are still yet not production ready on the server. So at some point, we're definitely going to be holding some siege events just to try those out in practice.
So yes and no.
So
Something
yes
we
and
want
no.
to do, but not at the top of our priority list.
Definitely not. It would, Fred. It would be quite interesting. When end update?
When Mojang and updates the end. I'm not
We
picking up the
have
ball
no
on that.
plans whatsoever to overhaul the end dimension or do something with it like we did with the Nether at the moment.
The end is far harder than the Nether to fix because it's just basically a big open blank nothingness. It doesn't even have land structures really.
Have you guys
So
thought of a range system where allies and mercs can only be added into a war within a certain block limit? Yes, we have
Yeah.
thought about that. Well, you guys be better off answering this one.
yeah, we
We
thought
thought
about
about
it.
it.
But I mean, as it is right now, we just made a change to limiting how many can join. So we'd like to see how that plays before we make another change like that. Could that happen one day? Possibly. Um, is that gonna happen right now? No. We want to see how the changes we just make work in the next major war, and then go from there. I'm not gonna read that question.
We will not be changing the entirety of fishing, Caliph. Unfortunately for
Fishing
you,
is
sorry.
perfect, literally
Uh,
perfect.
I love the new Emerald shop. Are you guys planning to add any new items to the list of things to obtain? If so, what can we expect?
Jeff?
Well, so I'll go through fishing and then the emerald one because I had something to say and then you guys just blew it by. I have some plans to make a couple adjustments to fishing. Just based off some feedback I've generally gotten over time. But don't expect the general core of the like fishing idea to change. It's not going to change fundamentally. It's still going to be roughly the same. When it comes to the Emerald shop, I mean I've been pretty busy with other stuff recently, so I add stuff when I can, but when we talk about what to expect, I might go in and add another custom enchant. That happens occasionally when I find one that interests me, and then I might go ahead and add a couple more magic items as I see fit.
I just want to
Um,
tag on to what you just said, because someone made a suggestion about it. The custom enchants are from a plugin that
yeah,
we use. We
yeah.
don't make them. I saw someone making a suggestion about custom enchants. So we are not making, like, we do not code the custom enchants. It's just from a plugin we have. So if it's in the plugin, we can add it in pretty easily, but we're not going out of our way designing new enchantments.
Mhm.
Yes. What are the rules on using free cam? This
Illegal.
is
That is a hack. We consider that a hack. You would be punished for using that. It is not allowed.
well, then that as it is.
Basically, I mean, if you like,
If you
if
use, I
you use
think,
it to grab a picture of your build, I like, we're not gonna know. I
look,
guess
if
it's not
if
going
if
into
you
the world,
use
but
if you download the free cam mod of Modrinth, the one that's fair play, and you take screenshots with it, we don't care. But if you use FreeCam in any other FreeCam mod, or you use that FreeCam mod in the capacity of, hey, let's explore tunnels to find ore, or hey, let's find out the path inside this enemy town during a war, then we will ban you for that. That's against the rules, and that is cheating.
some town mayors have asked whether it's possible to hold test sieges, perhaps siege outside wartime and or involving their nation members' allies against their own town in order to test their defenses. Would that be possible? That's
Well,
something we could look into.
yeah, I mean, I can comment on this. So right now, the way the war system works, and even in the future version, right, uh, it is not intended to hold sieges like that. And I'll say the problems you run into with that is that people still lose stuff like armor degradation and that sort of thing, even though it's like a quote unquote test siege. Um, and we have concerns if we did test sieges in the overworld that it would still cost people essentially. We don't want a test siege or event siege to cost anything. Uh, Having said that, this is something we've been thinking about. It's just extremely low prio, but in terms of getting the plugin so we can test the new war changes for before we actually launch them, then maybe we'll consider doing it so we can have test sieges in the overworld instead of in our siege map.
Okay. Alathra Hoi 4 mod when? After we open the Alathra Hold Fast Nation server. Uh, follow up on the free question. If it's accredited content creator, do they still have permission or not? Or is it a case by case situation? Content creators by default do not get any special treatment from us. They are just another player. If they come to us in advance and ask us for permission and talk through us about what they want to do, that is a different story. We can make exceptions if they come to us first and we talk about what's going to happen. But if they just do it of their own free will without communicating with us, they are just
Yeah.
another player. It doesn't matter. It
Again,
could be
again,
the
with the
biggest
free
content
cam,
creator ever.
if you use it for a content creation purpose, like taking a few screenshots, or you use replay mod to have a nice camera angle of in your town or whatever, we don't care. But if you use
Yeah.
either of those mods and you use it to explore like an enemy base or something like that, then we're
That's
talking of
problematic.
yeah, then we
Yeah.
have an issue with it. So just don't do anything like that.
Yeah.
All right. Any more questions? I
We
see
have one
operator
person
writing.
typing. Alathra 3 when you know, whenever I just feel like it, just randomly I
Yeah,
hit
Yeah,
whenever
Kev's
we
just
have
gonna
Kevin
I have
check
a
back to
one
work.
thing.
button on the desk. I just hit that and then Alathra 3 just appears out of thin air. So yep. Does anyone have any other questions that aren't meme or joke questions?
Otherwise, we're gonna be moving on to verbal questions here.
Yeah,
So
I'll
right
let
now
the people
or
type in.
don't write. can we never reset Alathra?
That's also
That's a meme
unrealistic.
question. Not
Yeah.
gonna answer it.
No.
What will be first, Alathra 3 or GTX? Yeah, we're not answering these questions.
Got a question about maps and being contested. If some town made a claim long ago and the nation only contested it by now, can this be ignored? I don't fully understand what you're
Isn't that up to the
asking.
matchmaker? Or
Okay,
am I...
so map claims are, I mean, I'm working on making a couple adjustments to how maps work, but the overall process is still the same. When it comes to claims, people can generally contest whatever they want, as long as it's not absolutely insane. The staff aren't going to do anything about it. Like if you try like claiming the entire map, obviously we're gonna fucking shut that shit down because it's just not fun. If every single fucking map has to be everyone's contested, right? So besides that,
It's kind of at the map maker's
that's
discretion.
yeah, it's
If it's been
mostly
like 6 months and the person hasn't been on it, the map maker wants to just decide to not include your claims anymore, that's kind of at their discretion.
would making an incorrect map. Kev, do you play Hoi for?
Don't answer
Nope.
that.
When making incorrect map-based map result in IRP consequences, that would probably result
No.
in us taking away maybe the map maker role from that
Yeah,
person or
that would be
punishing them, deleting their
no.
map perchance. If there's a map maker who's kind of just abusing their powers to
Post match.
mess up stuff or start consequences, we want the map makers to be kind of neutral entities. It's not really up to them to decide how I mean, they are making the map, but we'd like them to follow claims as closely as possible and, try and be neutral and not being like, oh, I'll choose to believe in these claims while ignoring these other ones that other people made.
So
That's what we prefer.
you could certainly make it have IRP consequences, but here's the thing, right? That would be not making it as like a mapper per se. That would be somebody posting it in like their lore post, right? So somebody could be like a mapper IRP and then make maps in like lore post, and then you could see something where maybe that has an RP consequence, but the direct like maps channel wouldn't have the same thing. Those are supposed to
Yeah,
be
neutral.
neutral, yeah.
New ops, your thing's starting to sound like a ticket thing. Like if whatever's going on,
Yeah.
you might just want to make a ticket
All
for
right,
that.
we're
I
gonna
do not
be
play Hoi 4.
unless somebody posts a question now, we're gonna be rounding this up
We're just
and
moving to
into
verbal
the
questions.
verbal
Yeah.
questions.
I will give everyone 30 seconds now to type something out, or else.
We're moving to verbal
Yeah,
questions.
If I
verbal questions. I don't see anybody typing. Let's go.
Okay,
Yep.
hold on, let me turn it on. Raise your
So
hand if you would like to ask a verbal question. If you come up here and meme, you will be kicked out and may be banned. So do not come up here and meme. Real questions only.
Kev will smite you.
I will smite you. It happened last stage. I will do it again.
that looks good. No questions. All right.
I'll give everyone 30 seconds to raise their hand.
No, I don't think there will
Darkle's
be
typing
any.
something.
Yeah, I see Thurkle's typing something. This better be a question, Thurkle, or we are. There you go. Okay, well,
All right.
then we're gonna be closing this stage. Thank you for attending, everyone. We will be uploading the stage to the YouTube for anyone that missed it. Again, apply to the staff team if you want to help out with building the server or moderating, even more fun.
If you want to help with building, there's the build team.
There is a build team. If you're a good builder, reach out
You
to
wanna
me
help?
or in a ticket regarding that. So thank you all for tuning in, people.
Yeah. If you
And
don't want to moderate and you're not a developer, join the content team. We do everything else.
pretty much. Yeah, steal all my glory.
I
No.
try.
Anyways, have a good day, night, evening, morning, wherever you are, people. And I don't know.
See ya.
Let's go
Bye.
then.
Goodbye.
See ya. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.